The old $5 latte is going to ruin your retirement plans, and you'll never be able to retire early because of that $5 latte addiction. Remember how that was what everybody was talking about in the FIRE movement or the retire early movement just a few years ago. And then along came Mr. Graham Stephan just in time to save us all with his 29-cent home brewed iced coffee. He saved the retire early whole movement and the FIRE movement. And now him and Mr. Money Mustache live happily together out there on the West Coast. Okay, so there's some other things that may still be getting in the way of your early retirement or your FIRE movement plans. I'm going to tell you what a couple of those are right now.
Shut up and sit down.
Okay, this is the Retire Mentality channel, just in case you've never been here before. And it's a place where I want to change your mentality about retirement, about investing, about real estate, and about how you look at money in general. And today I want to talk about some of the things that may be preventing some people from being able to retire early or retire at all, or even just like make their minds explode when they think about retirement. Number one is something that we all do, and it's easier said than done, but it's comparing yourself to other people. If you're trying to retire early or retire at all, and you see your neighbor pull up with a brand new huge Dodge truck or the Ford Raptor or whatever hot new truck you might be wanting to buy, and you're like, man, the sacrifices that I'm making for this retire early lifestyle are just so difficult. And he's got a boat and a jet ski and a truck and a camper and a this and a that. And maybe he does, and maybe he gets to go camping on the weekends and drive his truck in the snow or whatever he does that makes him happy with that truck. But just know that you're going to be not having to go to work. You don't have to be saddled with that debt. You aren't trying to keep up with them. When you retire early, when you have financial independence, you've already won the race. You're not competing with those people. Tomato, like they might love having the debt. Maybe they make 5 times more money than you and they don't have any debt. Well, your case is your case. And if your goal is to retire early and get out of the rat race, don't be looking at what these other people have. You've got to focus on what your goal is. A lot of times people just think retire early is the goal, but it's not the goal. The goal is the lifestyle that you want, and you have to figure out what that lifestyle was. In the previous video that I just did, I talked about how most people have a struggle of retiring early because they don't know what they want their life to look like, and they don't know what it's going to cost. So I'm not going to get into that side of it again, but you really have to know what you're retiring to. A lot of people talk about this in general retirement videos, like, you got to fill your days with something, and you got to know what you want your life to look like when you retire. So think about that as the goal and not whatever everybody else has. You might think you're rich. Other people might think you're poor. You might think you have more. You might think you have less. But once you know what you want your life to look like, it all kind of comes into focus. Number 2 is risky investments. It's so hard to see your crypto bro down the street who was just crushing it a couple of months ago, or this guy who's got this hot stock tip, and once he's making all this money over here, or somebody wants you to invest in this business, or maybe you have an entrepreneurial brain like me, and every day you come up with a new good idea. But making risky investments, trying to retire too early, too fast, in the long run is going to set you back. A few mistakes can really cost you big. I always say slow and steady wins the race. I reached financial independence in only 5 years by buying one house every year. And so it's not sexy. Nobody was really impressed while I was doing it. They noticed that maybe I couldn't go fishing on a couple of weekends because I was fixing up a house or I was dealing with a renter. But after 5 years and hitting financial independence, my schedule is a lot more free now. I've got way more time to fish and travel. I just got back from Mexico. My suitcase is still sitting in the hallway. I can see it back there. I should have put it away before I started this video. But I've got way more free time now. Some short-term pain is now providing me with my long-term gain. So, don't always go for the shiny object. Slow and steady wins the race. And if you've got a retirement plan you're working on, just stay focused on that. Maybe if you have an entrepreneurial mind like me, maybe give yourself 5% of your money to buy risky stocks or start a new business or start an on-demand printing t-shirt business or whatever you want to do. But don't try to speed things up or make huge risky investments, because in the long run, it's just going to set you back farther. And number 3, I can't help it. I got to touch on this. It's what my previous video was about, but it's so important. It's worth mentioning here again, is that your retirement number is probably wrong and your retirement math is probably wrong. It's all about, like I said in number one, figuring out what you want your lifestyle to look like and figuring out what that costs and figuring out what you're retiring to. So if you're just thinking about the 4% rule or getting 25 times what your current income is or any of those stupid formulas, just get away from the formulas. It's all so personal. It's personal finance because it's got to work for you. So figure out what you want your life to look like without work. Are you going to travel? Whatever you're going to do, figure out what you want that to look like. And then that'll, again, bring things into focus so you know what the actual goal looks like. And number 4 happens when you don't do number 3. I call it the one more year syndrome. I'll just work one more year. I'll just buy one more house. I'll just get another 100K into the stock market. I'll just pay off another this, another that. It's so easy to just keep postponing, moving the goalpost. Once you want $1 million, you want $2 million. Once you get to 2.5 sounds better. Once you get to wherever, it's just so hard to pull the plug on the work and go from saving to spending. And so one more year syndrome is just almost impossible to avoid. You know, I retired, then I unretired, then I call it recreational employment. Make the goal to get to your financial independence, and then you can reevaluate and you can see, do I like working? Is there something I can do that's more fun where I can still make money? So depending on how early you're trying to do this, you just don't want to retire and sit on the beach all day. I did that. I tried it. I moved to the Virgin Islands. I got bored real fast. It's how this YouTube channel was born. It was the first thing I started doing when I didn't have anything to do, living on a Caribbean island. So be careful of one more year syndrome. It's the biggest killer of early retirement because just a little bit more. It's just one more year. So those are 4 things that I think are the big killers of being able to retire early. Give me a big thumbs up if you got any value out of this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hey, it's free. Why not? Subscribe to the channel. There'll be more content just like this, and I will see you in the next video. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to wait for the next video to come out. Just go watch this video right now. If you like this one, you'll like this one too. Watch it. Go watch it now.